everybody, it's Christine of Twinkle Plans Her Day, and today I'm so excited to start this video. I'm going to show you some tricks that I've learned on how to take pictures for my planner Instagram with my planner. When I first started out planning, and maybe you feel the same way, I struggled so hard to get the perfect shot. I would spend hours, literally hours, trying to figure out how to edit on my phone. I didn't have a fancy camera. I didn't have much equipment, so I was kind of limited in my resources. I didn't want to spend time or invest money in things because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this Instagram account and how far it would go in the beginning. So I really struggled. And even after being accepted on the Happy Planner Squad, I still had so much trouble and was spending way too much time taking photos. But over time, little by little, I've gotten some tricks, some tips that I think will help newcomers and newbies on how to take photos, professional quality photos. I don't want to go that far. Let's just say photos that pass the test, not necessarily going to be on the cover of Time magazine. These are not award-worthy photos. I am not a photographer. Let me just say that. I am so not a photographer. Took a photography course in high school, and I just could not get past like the aperture and the light speed and all that stuff. Shutter speed just didn't jive with me at all. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a photographer. I wish I was. I totally respect and admire them, but I'm not. So I had to learn how to take photos the simplest way possible, without any fancy apps, without any fancy things. I just wanted to stick to the basics and get a good photo without having to rely on natural light. Everybody says natural light, go to a window, make sure it's sunny. That's great if you live in Arizona, but here in the Northeast, I never had natural light. So it was very hard for me to take photos at the beginning. And even after being accepted on the squad, I would spend so much time on my photos. So I wanted to put a video together with some special tips that will make it simple and especially fast for those who are new and have other things in their life. They don't have all the time in their day to devote to their Instagram, but they still want good photos. So I hope this helps you. Let me know in the comments if these tips are helpful for you. I should also add that this is for an iPhone. It may or may not work with other phones, but definitely check out the video, see if it works with your phone, and let me know in the comments if it's applied, if you can apply these tips to other phones. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started and show you the setup that I have. Here's my craft room. This is my craft area, and this is my makeshift desk. It's really just one of those folding tables that you buy at Target for like $35, and there's my metal chair. I really do have to upgrade, but I'm waiting for, we're gonna be moving probably this year or next, so I want to wait until we move and then I'll get some really nice furniture, but this is what I have now. These are the lights. I got these lights on Amazon. They were about $40. They have a little stand. I've had this since the beginning. I have not once needed to change the light bulbs in here, so I don't know how that happened. I thought for sure they wouldn't last, but they've been really, really good. I have to say also, I asked Carly J Plans on Instagram for her recommendations, and this is what she recommended. So I'm very happy with it. They also have ring lights available, so I'm sure you can find other things. If you're interested, don't get hung up on the lights. I don't think it's that important as long as you do have a lot of light. I'm sure a ring light might be even better than what I have here, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on this, to be honest. So I just bought the cheapest thing that I found on Amazon. So I have that. Then I have a couple of different, here's you do need one of these. This is like for filming when you're filming a YouTube video. You do need a phone stand that's good, that can go up and down and that's easily maneuverable, but I guess for photos you don't need something like this. So here is, this is just the prop. It's a real camera, but I don't use a real camera, just so you know. So here, let me just take this out. This is a page that I did the other day. And I intentionally did not put anything on this spread yet. This is this week's spread, but I didn't write anything on it yet, just so I can do this video without any writing on it first. So this is how we're gonna take a picture. I have my lights on, and I have my phone about, as you can see right here, my phone is about a foot away from, but I'm going to turn my camera because I do want it on square. When you're taking a photo, you want to put the setting on a square photo, which I'm not going to do now, but I'm just going to show. I'm about a foot away. So you see it's not very lit, but as I move the camera, I'm going to go stand up on my chair. See, there's my foot on my slipper. I'm going to stand up on my chair, and I'm going to be about 3 feet away, let's say to 3 feet away. And you see, as I'm going shorter, as I'm going closer, the light is a little darker. But as I move away, you'll see a very slight change in the lighting. Do you see how it gets brighter? This is where I stop, and this is where I take the photo. Then you can edit it however you want. I mean, with the when by editing, I mean changing the size of it, because I obviously don't want all these things in the back to be my photo, but you do need to get far away, and that lighting is that's the lighting. This is the secret to taking my photos. This is what took me forever. I would never get the perfect lighting. And once you have that sweet spot, you can either be too close and then you'd have to edit too much, or you can be, I don't know if you can be too far. But I guess the sweet spot for me is about 3 feet away, and I'm standing on the chair. This is where I would take my photo. All right, now I'm going to show you what it looks like on my phone when I'm taking a photo. Okay, so here's my phone. I go into the phone app. I will click on the square. We'll choose the square mode. And I will go closer, and I will move the phone very slowly away until I find that sweet spot. And when I do, I will click the shutter and get that photo, which is right about there. Then I'm going to go back into the photo to edit it. There we go. And I'm going to pick an edit will be on the upper right hand side, and then you'll have, I want to crop it. So the cropping button is on the bottom right hand side, and then you're just going to move it around. You can straighten it or turn it to its side a little bit. Once your photo is cropped, you're going to go on the bottom left hand side. There's a circle button. You're going to press that, and then you'll be able to control the lighting. The one on the first button that you have is auto. You do not want to take that. And then it's exposure. Press exposure and move it around just slightly until you find the perfect match. Then you're going to go to the next one is balance. Once you have the balance, you're going to move it around just a little bit to the left or to the right until you find something that's right for you, and that's the perfect photo. You really don't need for this photo to do anything else. Actually, here I go back and do it again just to fine tune it just a little bit, but it's very quick. And once I'm satisfied, I leave it at that and save it. Okay, so that's basically how I take a photo. You can change the colors of the background. Sometimes when I take a photo with a planner spread, I will rotate different colors and see what works best. But if you're just starting out, I would just stick with white. I do find this is just a cardstock, large piece of cardstock that I got from Hobby Lobby. They have a lot more colors in the cardstock than they do with the foam boards. The foam boards are great, but see how it gets, they get damaged very, very easily. See, I have some creases there, and it has bumps, and every time you write over it, it gets damaged. I find that these cardstock things are way easier. So if you want to start out with white, you can just get a whole bunch of these, or just, 2 or 3 different cardstock pieces, and you'd be fine for a long, long time. But if you do like color, go to Hobby Lobby and get a whole bunch of these. They have a whole bunch of different colors. The only thing is it's a little smaller than I'd like, so you can't show too much styling in the back, because you'll have this, you only have the line here. So that's my tip for that. You can style however you want. I always like to put the sticker books on the side so that people know what sticker books I used, and I'll always put some eyeliners just because I think they're pretty, not because I've actually used them on the spread, but I do like to have them around. Some people use coffee cups. I wouldn't go crazy with the styling. What's most important is the actual planner layout, at least in my opinion. But you guys do you. You do you. Everybody does their own way, and find your own style and what works for you. And that's really the best advice that anybody could give, right? So here, the camera's a little shorter. The camera is now too close, and I'm going to move it back. And you see the lighting change as I go up. See how it changes? That is the secret to a great photo. So it's to make sure that you're not too close. But after you do take the photo of your main spread, I also like to add a photo of just, here, I'll find that sweet spot and then just do each side. And you can angle it a little bit as you want. Using the tool that I showed you before from the basic photographer, in the basic app that comes with the phone, the photographer app, where it says straighten, you can move it around like this so you get the perfect angle. A lot of people just stick with a straight angle like this. I do like to vary it a bit because on your grid, I think it looks better when you have different angles. That's just me. But, again, you do you. So, again, I'm about three, let's say, actually not that far away. Here I'd say I'm 2 feet away. and this is 3 feet away, and that's where I would take my photo. Okay, so once we have our photo, what do we do next? What do I do sometimes when my pages are too dark and I want to get them whiter? Seriously, since I've learned this trick, I haven't had to do that like I used to, but I will show you if you have that problem, especially with the white background, if there's something, if you want to make that background whiter because there's a lot of shadows, then I will show you how to do that. To demonstrate, I'm going to take the photo again. I'm going to go into my camera app, take the photo. I'm going to put this setting on square because that's how Instagram is. I usually put my photos in a square mode. I will find that sweet spot and take a picture. In this picture, I'm going to crop it so I get just the left side of this photo. I'm going to straighten it a little bit and crop it using the button on the far right-hand side. And then once that's done, I'm going to push the button on the far left-hand side, and that will control the exposure and balance to get that perfect sweet spot right there. Then I'm going to go into an app called Facetune, which unfortunately is cut off. You'll see it on the upper right-hand corner at the end there. I'll just pick that, choose the photo I want to edit. Once I do that, I pick on the way left-hand side is retouch, press that, and then whiten. And then I'm going to touch the photo where I want it to be whitened. I'm just going to, and once I decide what I want to be whitened, I can move the cursor back and forth to change the intensity of that. So here I'm going to show you using the white. I'm going to background. So I'm going to turn that green background into white just so you can see it, because the actual planner was white enough. I didn't have to change it because of my lighting trick. I don't really have to use this anymore. But if I wanted to change the background with this, I certainly can. So once I do that, I'm going to save it. And as I won't save into my photos until I save it on Facetune. So there you go. So that's it. That's how simple it is. What took me just 5 minutes used to take me 45 minutes. And all it is placement of the phone and using the tools that are built in already of the phone. If you want to go to other apps, there's Pick, Tap, Go, there is Lightroom, there's a ton of apps that can help you pick presets and get all fancy with your photos, especially with photos that are not planner related. That is totally not my realm. But for planners, I just feel like you can just use the tools that are already in your phone and keep it simple. And I hope this works out for you. Let me know in the comments. If it doesn't, if I feel like this is just confusing people, I'll just delete this video. I'm not gonna have it out there. I don't want to confuse anybody. So let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. Catch me on Instagram at Twinkle Plans Her Day if you wanna see more of the transition of the photos that I was taking from beginning to now, if that interests you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.